Storytelling about my past social and working routines I was carrying out when I was 18 years old in March of 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic took place and our lives took a drastic and dramatic 360-degree turn. So without wasting any time, let's get right to it. What were you doing before March 2020? In the first place, I did like to admit that I was having a lot of fun before March 2020. Being that I was younger and I was still studying in high school, I was beginning to live my first life experiences. Therefore, I used to have regular training sessions where I practiced sports such as football, basketball, swimming, and I also enjoyed hiking in the San Carlos Forest and Montserrat Mountain, both spots located in Bogota City. I was also very fond of playing local video games with my friends, such as the King of Fighters, Mortal Kombat, and FIFA 19. I was starting to prepare what was going to be my personal project in life. I cherished those years as amazing years. I was enjoying doing lots of things indeed. What projects were you working on? I was starting to arrange a plan that I had been thinking about ever since I was 11 years old, and it was about being able to study one of the most fascinating careers available in the job market, which I was always very interested in electronics. Since I always felt attracted to this career, I began to delve into the subject more and more. Then I was laying the groundwork for what my degree was going to be and what I needed to achieve that goal. I remember I started to pick up everything related to it. I studied maths, components, electromagnetic circuits, and how to bring a device to life or repair damaged circuits. I was quite amused to be gaining an understanding of electronics. What activities were you doing? Alongside the activities I was performing in that period, I remember that I was in charge of daily end of the day crop ups, which in summary was about taking a few minutes at the end of the day to make a daily recount about what came into the enterprise and what went out, the final accomplishments, and setting up everything for the next day. Another of the activities I was performing at that time was completing daily assignments and tasks given by the boss. I was also taking care of the ongoing projects that the enterprise was carrying out at that moment, as well as making sure that everyone in the enterprise knew their role in the development. What were you studying? Well, to be precise, in that period, I was still finishing high school because I was still young, even losing a year but still standing up to finally successfully get my degree done. Meanwhile, as I was approaching that goal, I remember I was also thinking about what my life was going to be like in the future once I graduated from high school. Therefore, I enrolled in the Sena institution to make a dream come true that I had always had, studying electronics. Thanks to the effort I made to get in, I successfully accomplished it. Nevertheless, I might say I was quite amused at that age because I was meeting many people and I remember I was entirely enjoying the process. Where were you working? After March 2020 in July's summer in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, I remember those were quite difficult times because there wasn't any work at all. So I remember struggling too much to get various jobs or money to buy food or first aid medicine. Nonetheless, after spending a lot of time trying to find some job where I could start working, I finally succeeded in finding a part-time job in a nutso store where I was rather comfortable and happy to be working because I was finally earning money to sustain my family and myself after we had been going through all of those difficulties because of the pandemic. I remember I worked at that store for at least a year until the pandemic started to decrease in its overall impact. What sports were you playing? In summer of 2020, I remember I was practicing sports such as football, basketball, hiking, swimming, and others, since I've always been attracted to sports and that's why I'm keen on practicing them. I was very excited about sharpening my playing skills, hence why I was so into performing them, because I felt a sense of freedom while practicing. I even joined the local tournaments to officially compete in proficiency. I thought I was going to win first place, so I gave it my best try to see if I could achieve something, and I actually did. I was quite eager about playing these tournaments because I was practicing one of the things I enjoyed the most, while realizing my dreams at the same time. Who were you spending your free time with? What were you doing for fun? Well, I remember I used to spend my free time with my friends since we were very united and we liked the things we had in common. Even though when the pandemic arrived, we were forced to stop many of the things we used to do outdoors. For example, we had to leave aside our get togethers at night, which was a thought of shame. We enjoyed spending time playing PS4 and we were into skateboarding in the afternoons. We also liked eating dishes in downtown and we were into dancing at night with our dates. However, we were forced to end all of those activities when the pandemic took place.